Denise, welcome to these office hours. Uh, please, feel free to jump in. I am pasting on the comment box the the Zoom here. And always, I'm gonna start off by giving a presentation about this week office hours in a topic that is very much confusing and misunderstood nowadays, which is basically answering the question. Um, if you are, can you gain weight if you are on a calorie deficit, right? Or can you lose weight if you are in a calorie surplus, right? Uh, Responding to the first one, which is basically, by nature, the short answer is no. You get all the time people that says, I'm doing a diet and I can no longer lose weight. It was working before I was 40 and now I'm struggling, right? And this is common when people age. And today I'm gonna give you a short explanation, not too short, but short enough, why, that's not the case, why it isn't really your metabolism holding your back or your genetics or, anything of that nature. Um, why isn't your insulin resistance not allowing you to lose weight? Why it isn't your thyroid? Why there is no such a thing like microbiome, slowing you down? And, we did several videos about metabolism and what part of the metabolism really slows down and what else. Yet I thought that we went into really a brief explanation of what this is about. So if you're watching live, let me know who you are. Let me know how your week is. Let me know if you're hearing me okay. I see three of you here, so just do me this favor, just comment live or replay and let me know how you're going around. And basically, what I'm gonna do in these office hours, and again, this is, by the way, for the clients and non-clients, this is one way that you can get support. So I do encourage, whether it's a Q&A call, whether it's a mindset call, whether it's an office hour like that, to do come inside the Zoom, because when I finish this presentation, I can jump into your specific case, supporting you if you're a client, and I can also give you a assessment or support or answer your question if you are a non-client, whether or not you are if you care about getting a coach or not, it doesn't really matter, but mostly I can help you out, right? So do take advantage of this because it really, um, I know there is people asking for questions and then at the end they're not really taking much of an action, right? So it's quite important that if you need help, come in. All right, so can you lose weight or can you gain weight when you're in a calorie deficit? The short answer is no, right? Per nature, if you are not losing or no longer losing weight, you are not in a calorie deficit, right? Why is that something important? It's because I know that there are going to be people telling me there are studies after study that shows that you shouldn't really be in a calorie deficit all the time. And starving yourself is bad, specifically after 40, and restricting yourself. And funnily enough, that's what we've been talking about all along for a very long time. Yet, that's a different type of discussion. If you are on a calorie deficit, you are indeed going to lose weight. And likely, if you do that thing correctly in a sustainable one, you are going to lose fat. And if you're not losing fat, maybe indeed you are not supposed to be on a calorie deficit in the moment, right? Yet today we answering a different question. Today we need to answer the question of whether or not you are what is it that caused you not to lose any weight, right? And I am gonna open up our slide as well so that you can later connect the dots. Um, and again, what is the reason why you don't lose weight, right? Is it my hormones? Is it the fact that I'm in perimenopause or in menopause? You can come up with whatever scenario you want. If you're no longer losing weight, you have lost the ability to lose weight, or you have lost the ability to create a proper calorie deficit. The three main scenarios that we're going to talk about today, um, I'm going to show you now what they are. but it really comes down to awareness. It comes down to awareness of lack of awareness. And I'm also going to give you a few tips after that of what you can start doing right away if if that is you indeed, right? Um, but luckily for you, for like, you know, 90, probably 8% of the population, it doesn't come out of a scenario that it is due to something that is physiological, right? What I'm sharing here now, let me just actually pull up that thing. What I'm sharing here now is part of a presentation that obviously is part of our cheat sheet for master classes coming up. And as I showed you last time, uh, there are real issues, right? There are real issues of what somebody struggles with. And then there are root causes. Root causes has to do with all these things we're talking about awareness over here, right? If you're menopausal, yeah, sure. You kind of like lose the ability to burn fat because chances are you're more susceptible to changes. Chances are you're more susceptible to stress. And as we know, stress, there should be a big slide over here that stress is kind of like the regulator, and we're gonna see this in our master class, is a regulator of everything over here, right? All these little pieces that are to be in place needs to be regulated for stress. So if you are insulin resistant, you're slowing down, your ability to burn certain substrate. If you're thyroid deficient, you're slowing down your rate. But that doesn't mean that you cannot burn fat. It just means that it's a little bit more difficult, right? The main three things are number one, you are not in a real calorie deficit. That means like chances are, let's make this calculation over here. Let's say you're 40, and let's say you're a female and you're 90, right? And then you are, I don't know, 170, 166, right? And you're sedentary, and then you calculate this and your, maintenance when you're sedentary, you are indeed when you're sedentary, you are 1800 calorie. When you do some exercise, let's say you do exercise, moderate exercise, you can burn up to 2400. And then you tell yourself this thing that is like, I am burning for 2400 calorie. Then you say, oh, if I go to 1200 to 2000 calorie, I'm going to lose weight. Only the reality is that the exercise you do it doesn't really cover these calories, right? In reality, let's say that your basal rate is 1500 and your the regular rate is 1900. Basically you're not really living on a calorie deficit, right? That's scenario number one. And again, this is due to set points. If you Google set points, and I always like to look stuff that is online already because you can literally go up and learn. You know, set points when you lose weight, when you down-regulate your set point is like, let's say you're obese or overweight, when you start, eating better for the sake of the explanation here, you lose some weight. When your body starts fighting back, then losing weight becomes more difficult. And then you kind of say, no, the diet doesn't work anymore. I'm gonna quit. And then when your set points, your hormones fight back a little bit and make you more hungry, then they decide that next time you should really not really, if you lost 5 kilos, you should really gain back 6 or 7 because this weight is going to be hard. It's going to be more difficult for the body to starve because it wants you to survive. So it's a compensation mechanism. So, and this is kind of like the most unlikely of the scenario, but this is one scenario. The other scenario, which is kind of crazy, but this is basically everybody almost, is that you underestimate your perceived intake from 20 to 50%. So you basically underestimate. And this is usually what happens. It's like you feel like you're really eating chips and, estimating you're supposed to eat for 400 calories, you're really eating 1,000. You just a piece of chocolate and then and the calories that adds up, right? You see it here. Even if it's healthy stuff like avocado, you might, really getting double of the calories. This is what people feel like they're eating. toxic. It's not really, I do realize that it's not on focus, but it's like you feel like you're eating 1200 calories, you're really eating 2000, right? This is basically what happens for most of the time, right? And it's very easy to underestimate or overestimate because, you know, you just really uh, think that you're eating something and then the size changes and like you're really eating a lot. And again, this is a skill. You want to, like, it's not super easy to learn quickly. But even if you say that and you say, oh, I'm eating all these things, and then if you heads up, it's going to be 1000 calories and you're supposed to lose weight, chances are you are not um, doing this correctly. And not because you're eating different kind of food, probably because like the size is bigger or whatever the case is. And if you say, I done this for 5 days and I don't see results, well, this is kind of like the third problem. And the third problem is that you do not do this for long enough. And you think in days and you think and not in weeks and not in months. And therefore, your body now, kind of like every single time, and this is basically, I'm going to show you now a slide. This is basically what happens for again, most of the time is this. Um, you're very good during the week, and then you are kind of like let yourself go in the weekend for whatever case might be. It's because I earned my calories, therefore I can eat on the weekend. It's because you're not willing to give up your lifestyle. It's because you're not willing to really change anything. Only that's why you do a diet for a certain period of time and then you quit. And therefore, all this situation um, make you feel as if something is wrong. Reality is that you're not really aware, right? What is the fix for this? Well, very simple. Number one, you want to be aware of when you're really eating, therefore, like not snacking in front of the TV can be one tip. Um, Number two, you want to be eating very slowly and be aware if one time you try to go to a restaurant that are a little slow on the portion when they bring you the thing, you will notice that at times when you get to the second, like you hit the appetizer and then the first and then the second. When you get to the second, you're almost full, even though you're not really full, because it takes about 20 minutes for the signal from your gut to your brain to sense fullness, right? So you want to be eating that. You want to be eating in a certain manner, and you want to be very aware of what happens, inside. Again, you want to be very aware of what happens um, on a long, long period of time. Now, like I said before, it doesn't mean like right now, if you're not losing weight, you are supposed to be on a calorie deficit. No, but the question is simply answered when we explain that, for most of the time. I saw a podcast not too long ago that was talking about a person that had the opposite problem. Even if she said, I'm eating 10,000 calories, I cannot gain any weight. And the funny part is that she had a um, not absorbing problem, meaning like her gut wasn't able to absorb the food. Therefore, even if she put in 10,000 calories, she wasn't able to absorb it. It was going through her gut directly and obviously excreting everything at the end. And therefore, she wasn't on a real calorie surplus, on a real calorie deficit. Basically, this is what it is, right? And what should you do instead? Again, it's like if you are one of those that really struggle with being aware, like I said, being mindful, meditate for 5 minutes a day, seeing your thoughts and being very mindful of your choices on the moment. And right now, you're going to dedicate the time to eat and not watching TV on the process, eating slowly. And again, being very, very clear of the thing that happens, root causes and all that stuff. And what did you do wrong or what did you do throughout a long period of time? Okay, of course, the other scenario is that for those of you watching that are maybe clients or maybe non-clients, if you are not meant to be on a calorie deficit at the moment, you probably need to be here first, right? And rebalance, your hormone, restructure, right? Understand that you're probably supposed to be here 80% of the time and here 20% of the time. And people still go from diet to diet, so they always want to be here 80% of the time, and this is why it's difficult. And of course, if that's you, that you don't know exactly if you are ready to lose weight, or you are not ready to lose weight, comment below help or jump in right now so that I can see if I can help you. And of course, if you are a client, we can talk about in your next check-in. And if you're a non-client and you want to know more about it, chances are is where you would start. I'm coming up with a quiz that is going to kind of like place in one of these categories. Not ready yet, but coming up very soon. And aside from that, this is basically what it is, right? The answer is very simple. You are not in a calorie deficit. Should you be in one? We have to see. And of course, if you are in one and you cannot see why you're not losing weight, well, again, chances are you probably need some help because, as I said multiple times, if you were in one and you know how to create one and you know how to sustain one, then chances are you would lose weight and fat. And if you can't, it's because chances are there is something missing either on the knowledge or on the application part of the knowledge. David, I see you're here. If you want help, unmute yourself. If you're just here to check and you came in to say hi, that's also okay. I do have a few minutes, but I do need your feedback right now if you want any help. If not, I would stop my office hour here. And please do come in, like I saw before, some else coming in, but then also speak. Are you here, Davida?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you doing?
No, I'm having a lot of cravings lately, but so that's why I'm not losing any weight right now.
Yeah.
But I think that's, well, there's a lot of things going on. We just had a death in the family, so there's stress also. So yeah, but I don't know if I have anything really to say here right now. So just wanted to say hi and pop in.
Have you
Get some
regulated your
motivation.
sleep part?
Sorry,
Have you regulated your sleep? Are you able to improve the sleep? Because that's probably a good starting point. Because I remember last time I think you were struggling with the sleep somehow.
No, no. It was my son who was struggling with his sleep.
Oh, okay, not you. Okay.
So I had a problem getting to the gym early.
Oh, I see. Yes, yes, I remember.
I would think that I sleep enough hours, but probably not so good quality as I should have.
Yeah. That that's one probably a good starting place. I'm looking up your stuff right now, like your app real quick, and just to make sure that how are we doing here?
Yeah, I've not been very good with the app.
Let me just see the progress.
I'll
Do
admit.
you reckon you're still having progress like that, or in a plateau?
I would say I'm in a plateau, but as I've been squeezing in some strength development classes and some pump classes, I feel like I'm getting stronger. I can do more push-ups, for instance.
Yeah.
But the weight is pretty much the same.
And you are consuming 1800, or like you're doing more?
More, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
you
don't know
want
how
to
much
rebalance,
more, but
like,
yeah, definitely more.
yeah. I mean, your measurements are pretty stable. They went down and then went up, and now they're going down again. It's like obviously you need to get to a point that the stress is lower and you can control your cravings better, because now it is actually reflecting that you're eating a little bit more. But again, it might be a time that you want to be using this extra calorie to build up muscle and strength, so that then you can just go ahead and whenever you're ready, you go into another cut, right? And when we are in a cut this time, you want to be in a cut. No excuses. It's like when you are gonna be ready for it, maybe I don't know, close to when it's a little bit more warm, right? That you can walk a little more or whatever the case is. Then we
Yeah.
go a little bit more hard, and then it's gonna be 3 months really going like that. And then
Uh-huh.
this way, this way we're not gonna put 1800. We're really gonna underestimate. Let's say we're gonna put 1200, even if we know that you're gonna eat a bit more. We kind of like gonna shoot for lower. As you saw before, we just kind of like always overestimate what we're eating, right? So if I
Yeah.
put you,
Yeah.
let's say, at 1200 and you're eating 1500, it's gonna be a good thing anyway. But it's at least mentally you are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense? But now it's not the
Yes.
right time if you cannot sleep well or because it's simply not the right time. So, you wanna be. Let me just see if I can go inside that paper that I wanted to. In this one, um, which basically this represents. Let me just. Okay, so now we said that we're gonna focus on the strength training part. Let's use another color. Strength training, you're focusing on movement, maybe a little bit. Then the sleep is supposed to be a big rock. And then let's say that you said, I want to do a calorie deficit now, right?
Yeah.
Probably the stress it would increase, would become way bigger, and therefore it's gonna fight back. It's gonna
Yeah.
probably fight back with this one. It's gonna probably fight back with, maybe it's gonna fight back with with the hunger and everything, right? So
Yeah.
so then it's not a good idea. So now, maybe it's just better to focus on things that you need to introduce more calorie right here. Let's use that to get you even more stronger over here. Let's use that to get, more sleep, more quality sleep. You can put some movement in if you can, if that's gonna help you a little bit. But definitely, like, you're not in a point of getting that. You know,
Mm.
when the stress level, instead of being like that, it basically disappears, right? And you're gonna feel it because like your hormone are gonna be more stable, less mood swings, better sleep,
Yeah.
more energy, less cravings. When that happens, then you're like, okay, maybe I can probably now go back into a cut.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Good
But
plan.
now
Yes, it does.
it doesn't sound like it's a good time for that. It really sounds like whatever you have going on, you need to focus on the stress prevention and stress control.
Yeah. I'm doing the meditation
Hmm. Cool.
in the morning, so
Yeah.
that's one thing. But yeah. So I'll reach out again
Hmm.
when things have quieted down.
But
And
keep me posted on that. Yeah.
yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me know things are
Absolutely.
going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Perfect. Talk to you very soon and keep us posted, me and
Thank
Dawn.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Take care. All the best. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.